I can't even get out of bed anymore without needing help. When I do move around, I move really slow. And I have to be very cautious of each movement. And I have to wear this nasal cannula all the time, 24 hours a day.
As soon as Dolly gets out of bed every morning, she puts in an oxygen tube right away. Try taking at least one breath on your own, Dolly. You're only 25.
My weight has affected my lungs. I can hardly go to the bathroom on my own. I can't even help myself in the shower. Some days I skip it. And on the days that I do shower, I need Cheyenne and my mom to come wash me.
And speaking of not even trying, on some days, she admits she just doesn't even shower. No excuse, nothing. She just can't be bothered to put in the effort.
I live with my mother, but my best friend Cheyenne helps me when she's here sometimes. Cheyenne is a big girl like me too, so she understands where I'm coming from. I met Dolly over the internet. We grew up not too far from each other. We didn't know each other. The moment I met her, it was just like a spark, like I'd known her my whole life. We became twins.
Cheyenne, her bestie that she met on the internet, does everything for her from the moment she wakes up.
I'll help give her a shower. If she needs anything else, I'd go and do it. I just love her like a sister. Like I've known her my whole life, but I feel like I did in my heart. And she's worth it.
These two haven't even known each other that long. They met online less than a year ago. Yet Cheyenne showers Dolly, puts cornstarch in her fat folds, and essentially waits on her hand and foot every day.
Food is my go-to drug that takes my pain away. And I love cooking for Cheyenne because Cheyenne loves my eggs and bacon. All right, Cheyenne, I'm gonna go start breakfast.
Cheyenne does everything until it's breakfast time. This is where Dolly really shines.
Food is more than just a pleasure. It's my reason for existing. I can't wait for the first bite of something that will make me forget about all the misery of my life. Food has caused all of the things I hate about my life, but it's the only thing I've ever had to help me feel good.
For breakfast, she cooks 15 eggs and like 20 sausage links. She loads everything up with cheese, and then she tells the camera, food is her reason for existing. I know, Dolly. I'm a visual learner.
Growing up, all I know is I was chunky. My mom was a massage therapist, and she divorced my father when I was like 2 years old because my dad was a drug addict, and he chose the streets and the drugs.
I gotta hand it to her, her childhood was a little sad, but honestly, I've heard much worse backstories on this show. But this right here is where I stopped feeling sorry for her.
My mom being a lesbian was traumatic because kids would make fun of me and call me a lesbian.
When her mom came out as a lesbian, Dolly says kids at school bullied her just because her mom was gay. But then her mom comes through with the truth.
Dolly is not real good at bathing herself. She got in trouble for this in Job Corps.
After I completed my certificate, I worked at a restaurant as a prep cook. But you pretty much have to stand for hours. I was only able to stand up in like 20, 30 minutes. I tried working jobs where I could sit down all day, but none of those jobs lasted very long. Because of my asthma, my oxygen, my heart failure.
What a liar. She says she has asthma, she needs oxygen, she's in lung failure. But to me, it sounds like she doesn't even try to do the bare minimum to be a functioning member of society.
And by the time February rolled around, I had a baby girl named Trinity.
I was given this child by CPS when she was 6 days old. She and her husband at the time both proved to the judge very incompetent.
On top of all that, she has a daughter named Trinity that she does not even have custody of. Child Protective Services deemed Dolly incompetent as a mother, so now the baby's grandmother has full custody.
Today, I'm traveling to Houston to see Dr. Now to try to get help losing weight and getting a more normal life. And I can already tell that we're gonna need to stop for something to eat, just for me to get myself through it. I'll put my oxygen on when I get in here, Mom.
As soon as she gets in the car to go to Dr. Now's office, she says she's gonna need some food to get by. I, for one, am not surprised.
I don't think I'd be much more than 550. How did that happen? It's actually a lot more than I thought I was going to see. There's no way I gained that much. That's impossible unless my scale at home must be wrong then.
Even when she weighs herself at the office, she says her scale at home must be broken because there's no way she weighs this much. She's so delusional.
No, it was mainly my ex, my husband. He was the one that was feeding me too much.
So he was your enabler?
He was my enabler. My mom's not feeding me too much.
She says all her weight gain is actually her ex-husband's fault and takes no accountability. Shocking.
It's been a couple of weeks since I first saw Dr. Now. And since then, I've been really trying to stick with the diet and also do all the exercises that he talks about in his book. Cheyenne has been helping me a lot with my exercises, and I'm grateful for that because I don't know if I could do as good of a job without her help.
Even after Dr. Now gives her a whole exercise plan, she just sits around on her phone all day. Cheyenne has to motivate her to exercise.
One thing that is not cool is that my mom got rid of all the junk food right when we got back from seeing the doctor. And so that was kind of a shock to my system that she did it so fast. And I wish my mom would have talked to me about it or given me some say-so.
Dolly even says it's uncool that her mom threw out all the junk food in the house without running it by her first. She barely even tries to get used to this new life.
I'm back in Houston to see Dr. Now, and I'm about to find out if I'm at my weight loss goal. Sure, I've been having cravings, but my mom has put the house on lockdown.
You can go ahead and step on the scale.
When she gets to her follow-up appointment with Dr. Now, it turned out she only lost 17 pounds.
I don't understand what happened. It doesn't make any sense. I worked so hard. I just don't know how to do more than that.
She immediately starts crying and whining and says she can't believe it. But I can believe it, Dolly, and so can everyone else who watched.
So how is your breathing coming along?
It seems like it's getting a little bit better, easier. I feel like it was a lot easier for me to walk from your waiting room to here today.
Now remember, she doesn't even try to breathe on her own. And Dr. Now does scold her for using an oxygen tank as a crutch.
Gotta get you off of that oxygen.
Yeah, sure.
And we gotta get you in better shape. You need to work hard to change your life and get yourself in a better shape.
And in this scene, Dolly looks like she's just been slapped in the face, which she kind of needs.
I say that I'm going to go get some exercise, but then I don't really exercise. So instead I like to feed the birds or the ducks.
Dolly even admits that she lies and says she has errands to do just so she can get out of the house. She always says she's gonna get exercise when she goes to the park, but she lies and just sits there and eats.
It's been a week since I moved out of my mom's house. Me and my mom had an argument. Sister wife got a hold of me and she said to get a hold of him, so I did. I fell in love with him again, all over again.
Now in this crazy plot twist, Dolly gets caught lying and returns to her abusive ex's house to escape her mom. But under one condition, she must live as a sister wife with his new woman.
So I met someone a couple weeks ago and his name is Philip, and he's just about the sweetest guy you're ever gonna meet. And I started dating him, and one thing led to another, and now we moved in together.
After just a week of living with him, she got sick of his behavior and moved in with a new guy she met at a homeless shelter. And I can't even get a text back.
The last month has been really good, and a big part of that is because Philip has been such a good support. And I've been feeling extra encouraged because Philip proposed to me to get married, and I said yes. We haven't set a date yet because we want my surgery to come first.
She says Philip, her new homeless boyfriend, is a godsend. She ends up getting engaged to Philip after barely knowing him, proving she's not even trying to get her 600-pound life together.
Me and my fiance Philip were living in a hotel here in Houston.
Well, you moved out of your mom's place, and now you're living in a hotel with your new fiance who has no job and you have no job. This doesn't seem like a healthy situation with you, and your lack of progress shows that because you only lost 10 pounds in 3 months.
Dr. Now rips into Dolly for hardly knowing her fiance and for abandoning her child once again for a man she's only known 6 weeks.
That's your best friend?
Yes.
How long you know your best friend?
For maybe a year. It feels like we've known each other forever, though.
The reality is that you're choosing the support system with the people you don't really know. After you rejected the support system you needed with your mom.
He rips into her for her fake friendship with Cheyenne, too.
Well, me and Philip finally found a house to move into. We found this place online, and what it is, it's like a bunch of people all living there, but everybody has their own room, and it's cheap. And all we had to do was pay the first month to get in. And it comes with a bed and stuff like that. So it's perfect for us.
Her and Philip then move into some trap house together. The property is so bad she can't even walk through the front door because she thinks the floor's gonna fall through. Even certain parts of the lawn are sinking.
At my last appointment 4 months ago, I weighed 566 pounds. So if I did that, I'd be 506 pounds today.
At the end of the day, all her antics really add up because she did not lose as much weight as Dr. Now wanted her to.
So it seems like you cannot take responsibility for yourself because so far you have shown us you're not willing to do what you need. And we can't wake you up to do that. So this is going to be a long process for you. I think you ought to listen to the guidance from your mom. She's the only one that has best interest for you. Now is the time to work hard if you want to do this.
Dr. Now ultimately ends up telling Dolly just to drop out of his program and to listen to her mother's advice. She got a lot of work to do. Do you think she could pull it off? Drop a comment and let me know.
I don't sleep well at night at all. I'm scared to sleep, if I could be honest about it. I'm scared that I'm not gonna wake up. I got doctors tell me I'm too big. So
Syreeta says she's scared to sleep because she thinks any morning she might not wake up. I know that's because of her size, but I can't help but think it might be because of all the bugs also.
I'm thankful for my current living situation because not everybody got a roof over their head, but at the same time, it's challenging.
She says she's thankful to have a roof over her head, and I like that about her, but her house is really falling apart at every step.
The floor is unleveled and uneven and it's weak, so I'm scared that I may fall through the floor.
No, literally at every step.
I fell through the floor literally just a few days ago, but my son fell through first and I ended up falling through again.
The floors are creaky and uneven, and in this vulnerable moment, Syreeta reveals that she fell through the floor the other day, and so did her stepson. It's hard enough to live inside her massive body. Falling through the floor should never be on someone's everyday life bingo card.
Oh, my knees hurt. Well, I've had a lot of relations and relationships.
To boot, there's trash and garbage everywhere, as if it wasn't already hard enough for Syreeta to maneuver around with all that extra weight.
I'd be out of breath after I get out the shower or just in a lot of pain from doing all that moving in the shower. Then I crawl up the stairs. I tried not to depend on my family so much just because sometimes they enable me a little too much.
She even has to crawl up the stairs because it's hard for her to move around.
So I try to depend on myself before I ask for help.
I don't want to judge, but it looks like it's very hard for her and her husband to clean also. And by that, I mean, I don't think they ever do.
Me and Lawrence are packing up to move to Houston. I've been in Ohio for too long already. I just know that I'll do better with my weight loss if I can go down there and get situated.
You can even see roaches climbing on the wall and other bugs flying around. This is what happens when you cook every meal from your bed, but I guess she and her husband Lawrence have no other means of doing it.
You ready for breakfast? I am. I want to do bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches with some pizza rolls. You can go grab that and I get the stuff set up here.
Just like all other 600-pound patients, Syreeta starts her day with as much food as she possibly can. The first thing she asks for are bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches with some pizza rolls. Yes, very healthy start.
This is the only real relationship that I've ever had to the point where I actually genuinely in love with that person. We're going in here for, what else are we going in here besides chips?
Next, Syreeta and Lawrence head to the supermarket to pick up some feed for the week.
You know what I don't understand? How your car, it's not littler than mine, but I get out your car easier than I get out my own car.
My car not built like yours.
Syreeta is able to walk a few steps, but only in the direction of an electric scooter.
Meal-wise, I probably eat twice a day, but as far as snacking-wise, that's every day, all day, constantly.
She says she eats all day long, constantly.
Oh, these are so good.
How about these right here?
Oh, yes. Mini barbecue. I actually like those. You want some cheese balls? I like cheese balls.
She goes down the narrow aisles and picks out what she wants to eat, and Lawrence helps point out which snacks look best.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing pretty good myself.
That's good. See, I opened these, so let me get those to you.
By the time they approach checkout, she's actually already opened a few bags and started eating in the aisle.
I think I should get some plates so that meatballs can be separate.
No, I'm mixing all mine together.
Okay.
For dinner, Syreeta makes cheese pasta with meatballs, Texas toast, and some vegetables.
Let me know when to stop, because once I get a hold of this pie, I ain't sharing.
She pours a small bowl for Lawrence and eats the rest of the giant pot all to herself.
Now, as day-to-day goes by, it's really hard for me to actually move around because I be in so much pain just to walk to the bathroom.
You eating too fast.
Well, you know I got chipmunk cheeks.
She laughs and says she has chipmunk cheeks. I bet she wishes she really did so she could store food inside for later.
I'm hungry. Well, I got chips for now, so I'll just open those up, but I don't know if I'll get along with Dr. Now. I've heard a lot about him, and it sounds like he's a tough love type of guy. So I just hope that I can get along with him enough to get him to help me.
Scene after scene, she's been inhaling food, and it's easy to see how much her mood improves as soon as she gets some good grub in front of her.
I had a horrible childhood. There was nothing sweet about it.
Syreeta says she's had a horrible childhood, and there was absolutely nothing sweet about it. Sadly, that makes sense why she shoves sweets down all day long.
All the stuff I went through, a child should have never went through.
She was unfortunately a foster child and feels no child should ever have to go through that.
Moving around from home to home. And more often than that, I was abused in these homes. And by the time I was 8 years old, I had been physically, sexually, and mentally abused. I was mentally traumatized.
She was put up for adoption at 2 years old, and by the time she was 8, she was abused in every way imaginable, from sexually to physically to emotionally, you name it.
So I started joining friendship groups on social media, and that's how I met Lawrence. Lawrence told me that he thought big women are sexy, and one thing led to another. We dated long distance for 2 years.
Syreeta met Lawrence online and dated long distance for 2 years.
Let me ask you a question. Now, when I got with you, I was big. When we got married, I was big. So now I'm actually trying to do something about it. How does it make you feel?
On the drive to Dr. Now, Syreeta asks Lawrence how he really feels.
Are you excited about it?
Well, I can't really say I'm excited. My biggest concern most of the time is, are you going to change once you lose all this weight?
In this scene, so much is revealed about the relationship when he says he's not excited about her weight loss.
What I'm really worried about is if he found me in a BBW social media group and I lose the weight and I'm not so big anymore, how is he really going to feel about me?
She fears that if she loses the weight, then Lawrence will no longer be attracted to her since he was online specifically looking for obese women.
Yes, I have enablers, people that don't know how to tell me.
So who is your enabler?
Well, my husband is one of my biggest enablers.
When they make it to Houston, Syreeta calls him out for being an enabler in front of Dr. Now, and he can't even look up to face the heat.
That's not being an enabler. That's
an enabler.
You bullying him to feed you, and you call that the enabler.
But Dr. Now says Lawrence is not an enabler. Rather, Syreeta just bullies him into doing whatever it is she wants.
I do not bully him.
So what does he have to say about that? Am I right?
The couple ends up laughing it off together, and it seems like they're able to bounce back under the pressure.
My goal is to make the workouts fun. So I like playing games with Lawrence or just having a good time going for a walk.
After meeting with Dr. Now, the couple goes to the park and play volleyball and walk around.
We should go run up that hill. You could do it. You could do it. Okay, look at you. Go, Syreeta, go, baby.
When he walks her up the hill, giving her encouragement every step of the way, it's almost like a metaphor for how they're willing to tackle this uphill battle together.
You made it.
I honestly can't help but cheer alongside her.
We're back in Houston again to see Dr. Now. The past few months have been pretty hard, but I know I've made progress. And I hope it's enough to get approved for weight loss surgery.
Syreeta puts in 3 solid months of non-stop work towards her goals.
At my last appointment, I was 603, and Dr. Now gave me a goal of losing 60 pounds over the next 2 months. So if I did that, I would be down to 543 today.
But after getting back to Dr. Now's office and pulling her purse and cell phone out of her bra, the scale reveals that she didn't work as hard as she thought she did.
So what happened to the diet instruction we gave you? Did you read those papers?
I read it. Actually, I read it a couple times because I was showing.
Couple times. The deal was you read it every night. The normal weight for your height is 140 pounds. You're almost 4.5 times that. If you think losing 6 pounds a month is good progress, if you're gonna do that, it's gonna take you 6 to 7 years to lose that weight. And that is assuming you stick with it.
She and Dr. Now get into an argument in the office because he doesn't think losing 12 pounds a month is nearly enough.
You know, instead of being 140, you're not 240, you're not 340, you're not 440, you're not 540, you're 591. This is your life, and you're not gonna live longer like that if you keep all that weight on you. But right now, you're killing yourself with food, and you don't seem to get that. And I'm not sure your family is getting that too.
He really lays into her and tells her that she won't be living longer if she keeps killing herself with food. What do you think? Can Syreeta pull through and lose the weight needed to get her weight loss surgery, or will she fall victim to her former habits and remain obese forever?
When you become as heavy as I have, it's hard. Sometimes it feels like I'm dead. I cannot do the things that normal people take for granted.
Penny described the origins of her food addiction in vague terms. Says that she used food for stress eating when she was a kid, adding a pound or two at a time until she eventually weighed 300 pounds when she was still a child.
I started out just like anyone else. And every time I had a problem, it's a pound, 2 pounds, 5 pounds. Just gaining 20 pounds a year. I ended up being close to 300 by the time I was 22 or so.
Her sisters, Christina and Angela, went on to paint a more complete picture.
A lot of it has to do with what she was exposed to with my dad. My dad was very abusive to my mom and to us some.
You kids should have to watch your mom beaten. Penny probably experienced a lot more of it than we did.
Not only did Penny have to find a way to survive in a truly horrific home environment, but as the oldest, she had to bear most of the burden this had on the family.
She had to bear the brunt of a lot of what we had to go through.
It should go without saying that this type of childhood trauma will have a long-lasting effect on anyone's mental health.
Right now, I'm her full-time caregiver, so I can't go out and earn money. We're just living on her disability.
Fast forward to present day, and Penny's weight issues have forced Ed to physically be an unemployed stay-at-home caretaker while his family lives off Penny's disability checks.
It seems like one thing after another keeps going wrong. Penny has been in and out of the hospital for the past 2 years, and it is difficult to think that I could lose her.
Penny has spent the last few years in and out of hospital, and it's clear that he truly loves her and wants her to be happy and healthy. Unfortunately, those two conditions appear to be mutually exclusive for Penny.
Penny usually gives me a list for grocery shopping for the house. Chips, soda.
Ed does all the grocery shopping, and both of Penny's sisters say that Ed will do exactly what Penny wants, and if she doesn't like it, he's in trouble.
Penny is very stubborn, and Ed does enable her. He buys whatever she tells him, and if he doesn't, he's gonna be in trouble.
Even though he knows it's bad for her, he just can't refuse her. Yes, Penny asks for unhealthy food, but this isn't to say that she doesn't want to lose weight.
We're gonna bury her, and Liam's gonna walk beside her casket, probably before he's 10 years old. I know I need to change because he deserves full-time mom.
It appears as though going on the show was her idea. She loves the kid with all of her heart. That much is evident. However, we can also tell from her sister's collective testimony that Penny can be very stubborn. We see this come to light as they're on their way down to Texas to meet Dr. Yunan Nauzaurden, or Dr. Now as you probably know him.
We're packing up to go to Texas. It's like the last minute. We have to be in the vehicles in like no time. I'm going to be in the back of a van, actually on my hospital mattress.
Once she's in the van, she's not going to be able to get out until she's at the hospital. So we can't really stop anywhere to sleep overnight or anything.
For those of you that don't live in the United States, Maryland is quite a ways away from Texas, so it's going to be a long drive.
We need to do a quick pit stop.
Premium chicken sandwich?
Crispy or grilled?
Crispy or grilled?
Crispy.
Grilled?
Crispy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Make that crispy.
A little bit of lunch. We all needed it so bad.
You can see Ed notably twitch when he got it wrong, and he quickly and anxiously corrects himself to the drive-through microphone. The next day, Ed and Penny pull into the hospital and talk about how much is riding on the success of this operation.
We gambled with every resource my family has financially. Honestly, if this is a fail, the failure is catastrophic.
Penny herself says that if this fails, it'll be catastrophic, and she enters the hospital with a genuine desire to make the most of the opportunity in front of her. Dr. Now takes her in right away and notices some interesting behavior. She weighs 530 pounds, which isn't unexpected, but what is unexpected is her reaction to losing her oxygen tube.
Can we turn the oxygen off?
I'm on oxygen 24 hours a day.
But if your oxygen saturation is better than mine, why do you need to have oxygen?
According to Now, this issue is completely in her head and she's playing the victim and her family is enabling her. Dr. Now doesn't directly address this with Penny, but he does say that she needs to lose 25 to 50 pounds before she's ready for the surgery.
Penny got a lot of issues. Some of them are real, some of them are imaginary. We're gonna keep Penny under observation and a strict diet. Being in hospital, she should easily be able to lose 25 to 50 pounds.
1 month later, Penny has followed the diet religiously and appears to be in good spirits. She's already lost a staggering 40 pounds, and she says that she's already noticed a difference in her body.
I definitely can feel the difference when I start losing weight.
Penny done very well. She lost 40 pounds and heroin. We're gonna see how the thing will go with the first operation.
Doctor Now agrees, and a short while later, Penny officially undergoes weight loss surgery. After a successful operation, Dr. Now informs Penny and the family that they're not out of the woods yet.
She still has a lot of issues, but now she's proven she can lose weight. She needs to be able to walk, so the surgery is going to be next step.
The next stop will be to get her back on her feet and walking.
So do you have any plan to walk? No?
If she doesn't get up and walk, she's not going to be able to maintain a weight loss.
Penny remains in the hospital but refuses to even attempt walking.
This is Liam and I's room. It's only a one-bedroom. I get the bottom bunk.
This is the kitchen. This is what I like to drink.
When she comes home, I'm going to have to change my diet and start getting things right.
Ed, meanwhile, has rented an apartment down in Houston so he and Liam can stay near the hospital. It should go without saying, but this shows how excited Ed and Liam are to get Penny back in their lives.
Why am I on a soft diet? That's the orders that he needs to get his poop in a group, or else I'm gonna order something. This is so stupid.
Fast forward another month and it's more of the same. Despite living in the hospital full-time, Penny is still clocking in at 490 pounds, and the lack of progress is clearly frustrating her.
I'm very concerned about Penny's behavior. She's not losing weight anymore. Penny must have somebody sneaking her food. She figured out how to manipulate the system. Penny's not really making the changes that we wanted to make psychologically and cooperate and become a person that wants to get well. I'm concerned that Penny convinced herself that she's permanently disabled.
Much like the lack of oxygen from earlier, it appears as though Penny's body is acting a certain way because Penny's mind has decided that any other outcome is impossible.
I can't believe I'm finally getting to go home.
At the start of month 4, Penny is still stuck in neutral, so doctor now decides that it's time to send her home.
I didn't expect to be cordoned off like I was in a cage, but I wouldn't have the peace in front of the TV.
Ed and Liam are understandably thrilled about this, but Penny's attitude has not changed at all. The second she's dropped off, she complains about her location in the house and demands Ed to move her around. It's safe to assume that Penny didn't religiously follow the diet or exercise guidelines during her first month back at home.
Today was my first day with Penny. I worked with quite a few bariatric patients. I can't say that I worked with someone of her size.
Doctor now draws a similar conclusion and brings a physical therapist named Mike into the mix.
Physically, I'm just not able to get up. I just can't do it. I just know my limitations.
The first thing he does is ask her to sit up, and Penny says that she can't even do that because she knows her limitations and she knows what's best for herself.
There's always some excuse. I'm not so sure she's going to push herself all the way, so she's going to require someone to kind of give her a kick in the bottom.
He knows that she's capable of more, and he wants to find out how to properly motivate her to reach her potential.
Yeah, this is Gonzaga. He hasn't been able to come to office because he can't get to the wheelchair and all those things, right? How about we get you down to hospital so we can check out everything and see what's going on with that?
This shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, but Penny continues to miss checkups entering month 7 and has not made any sort of physical progress in weight loss journey. Doctor now isn't going to give up that easily though, so he calls an ambulance to bring in Penny for a weigh-in.
I have spent the last 6 months giving it all I have to lose weight and have been successful in losing weight. I should be in the neighborhood of having lost about 340 pounds.
This is the part that really shocked me. This check-in shows that Penny truly believed that she was getting closer to her ideal body and was doing everything in her power to achieve that goal. She thinks she's lost 340 pounds in total, which would have her weigh in at 190 pounds. Oh, honey.
I just need to hold on to the front.
The doctor hooks her up to the scale, and lo and behold, she now weighs 495 pounds.
I feel that the scales were wrong in the beginning and that I weighed more than what that was.
That's right, she put on 5 pounds since her weight loss surgery. This is a genuine shock, real tears, and she jumps straight to denial and says that the scales must have been wrong the first time.
I think that day in the hospital was harder than the day I left Maryland, and it's made me think about things a little differently. The bad news is we're having this all for dinner tomorrow, guys.
Lo and behold, that weight appears to have had an actual impact on Penny and Ed's efforts because they're actually eating healthy. This is the first time I can actually recall one of them eating an actual type of fruit or vegetable outside of the hospital.
One of my goals is to go to Liam's kindergarten graduation. I want to be the mother for Liam that I've always dreamed of.
Penny desperately wants to be there for Liam's kindergarten graduation, and that's only 2 months away. Unfortunately, she couldn't do it.
It's hard because I had to be leaving to go see the award ceremony, and I'll be here.
But she's still doing physical therapy.
You hold my under this arm, like just that's what I need. That's all they're doing when I'm doing therapy.
It's officially been a year, and after missing even more appointments, Dr. Now physically brings Penny in for one last appointment. To Penny's surprise, she hasn't lost any weight and remains firmly at 495 pounds.
I don't have it in me to go any further, so my mind is just tired.
She truly believes that she's done the best she could, and the couple decides to go back to Maryland.
Even if I'm not successful in the world's eyes, the fact that I did all of this so far, I don't ever have to be an ideal weight in Liam's eyes because he's seen what I'm willing to do for him.
So, now that we've revisited Penny's story all these years later, is it fair to call her manipulative? Manipulation implies malice, and I don't think Penny ever truly does that. This isn't a story of manipulation as much as it is a story of someone who is simply refusing to accept the blame for her shortcomings. Recovery is a long, long road with many pit stops. It was one Penny simply wasn't ready to go down at the time.
Every day you wake up is a blessing, especially at my size. I'm very grateful that I'm as mobile as I am, but I'm scared that it's getting to be less and less.
Wess knows his weight is out of control, and he's afraid that he's losing what little mobility he has left. And honestly, looking at him, it's pretty clear to see that those fears are justified.
On a bad day, just the physical act of carrying all the weight on my stomach creates a pain that is so intense.
I remember growing up, you always saw those commercials of those old people that are like, help, I've fallen, I can't get up. At this size, I have fallen. And the first thing that runs through your mind is, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Wow, that is bad. Wess, I think you're right. If things don't change soon, you're going to be bedbound.
Mainly, I'll just kind of sit
and think about what I'll order for breakfast.
The thought of eating, especially the first time in the morning, is so exhilarating. I don't love the way my body looks.
So I'm grateful I can always rely on ordering through the app on my phone.
Well, that could explain the weight gain.
One of the perks of living by yourself is being able to eat breakfast naked.
Now, in some episodes, if you want to be generous, you can assume that the patients are ordering enough food for multiple people. That possibility doesn't exist here. Wess lives alone and he's clearly eating all that by himself. And good lord, it's a pyramid of breakfast burritos. Honestly, I think Wess eats more for breakfast than I do in a whole day.
I was home a lot by myself. That's when a family member was very sexually abusive towards me.
He did a lot of horrible, horrible things that I would never wish upon a child. I will never get over it, and you have to cope with that somehow. And so I just ate.
Wow, that is a lot of trauma for somebody to overcome.
It was hard for me to entertain the thought that someone would ever flirt with me or find me attractive. So when I was 13, I started fooling around on the internet. And my dad caught me talking to this older man that I was attracted to. So I had no choice but to come out to my dad that I was gay.
It was made very known to me that that is not acceptable.
But I was left feeling like I had been abandoned emotionally. Just like I felt after I was molested.
Wess used food to cope with an objectively terrible childhood, and that coping method turned into an addiction, so he'll need to overcome a lot if he wants to lose this weight.
My dad takes me to the store to help me go and get groceries because I'm too big to fit behind a steering wheel.
And now we get a quick glimpse into why Wess maintains this weight. While it's obviously his fault for ordering so much terrible food, we can also see that his father buys a whole bunch of junk food that is only contributing to Wess's terrible health.
Standing and like leaning against the wall, if I have no support, my stomach is gonna start pulling me and you'll see me like lean forward, go down. Okay, I'm done. I gotta go outside and sit down. I can't do this anymore.
I mean, Wess can't even stay in the store the whole time, so Rick is 100% responsible for what groceries are actually purchased.
It's very hard for me to admit I have a problem because it's like any addiction. Your mind creates the addiction, and then you just want more and more and more, and you're never satisfied. I would say, without a doubt, 100% I am a food addict.
Based on the opening, Wess seems to be pretty aware of the situation, which isn't always the case with the patients of the show.
Today, I'm finally gonna do something about my weight problem. Just about an hour from here, there is a world-class surgeon who works on people my size. And I've known about him for a while, and I finally decided that it's time for me to go see him to try to get his help.
Wess is officially off to meet Dr. Now, and conveniently enough, he's not too far away from where Wess lives.
Now we're here, and my anxiety is really, really bad. Dr. Now might be the last chance that I have to save my life and stop from eating myself to death. I'm desperate for his help, and I just hope to God that he doesn't turn me away.
We're officially at the office, and once again we get some positive signs from Wess as he clearly knows what's at stake.
It's been a long time since I've weighed myself, and back then I was in the low 600s, so I think I've gained a little bit of weight since then. I'm just hoping I'm below 650.
Honestly, based on that description, I don't like his odds of being below 650. Over 700 pounds? Okay, that's quite a bit more than Wess thought.
The first step is to show me that you're ready for this by losing some weight. And with your current weight, you have to lose at least 100 pounds.
So there's the goal, 100 pounds and Wess can get weight loss surgery.
And this is not something that is gonna be easy, but you're gonna have to bite the bullet and do that. If you aren't willing to work at this, then the surgery will eventually fail.
Dr. Now doesn't sugarcoat it either. This will be tough, but everything we've seen from Wess suggests he understands the difficulties in front of him and is ready to overcome them.
I come to help you out a little bit. We're gonna clean out your cupboards today.
Wess and his father are off to a great start. The best way to eat healthy is to remove the source of temptation, so here we go.
All the junk food, all the crap that I eat, it is now going to go bye-bye.
Aha!
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see it.
They were hidden back there.
I don't see anything in your hands. I don't know what you're talking about. Get rid of them.
Oh, that's not so great. I'm not sure how much of that little chip gag was a joke, but if Wess is trying to hide junk food from his dad, that is a very, very bad sign.
Cookie pop popcorn.
You know,
no good.
This was okay when you first came over, but now you're really like...
Junk food junkie police.
You're doing it now.
Yeah, you can see this is emotionally destroying Wess. He might hate to see it, but honestly, this needs to be done.
It's been almost 5 weeks since I started on Dr. Now's program, and it hasn't been a walk in the park. My dad has been coming over just about every day to help me with my exercises, eat with me, and to keep me accountable.
I owe Ricky an apology. His father has come through in a huge way ever since their first visit to Dr. Now.
In the morning we do my exercises, and it takes a lot out of me, but I'm getting better at it now. I can walk to the dumpster and back, whereas before, I could barely even walk outside.
Even Wess admits that he's made a ton of progress, and there's no way he'd be able to walk that far even a month ago.
I know I haven't been perfect every day, and I've strayed off the diet more than once, but almost every day I was good. I'm feeling as good as I felt in a long time.
1 month later, it's time for the weigh-in. We've already seen that Wess is clearly improved, but losing 100 pounds isn't easy, and Wess admits to cheating on the diet a few times.
At my last appointment, I was 705 pounds.
Your weight is 695.
Oh my God, Wess, I think you might have cheated more than just once or twice.
You want me to be the one to motivate you to lose weight and keep you from gaining? Do I need to call you every day and ask you please follow the diet so you can live? You have to motivate yourself to want to do this, to save your life. And you have to decide if it is worth more to you than food.
Dr. Now's completely right here. If Wess doesn't personally make changes on his own, he'll never reach long-term health.
Wess doesn't seem to believe the reality of his situation and how dangerous it is for him to continue at this weight. But if he doesn't wake up right now and start doing what he needs, then it's not going to be long before everything I'm warning him of starts to happen.
It's clear Wess didn't take this seriously enough, and Dr. Now seems worried that even this won't serve as a wake-up call. Let's see if Wess can prove him wrong.
It's been a month since my follow-up with Dr. Now, and in many ways, that appointment was a bigger wake-up call than the first one. So I'm taking responsibility for myself. I'm not looking for anyone else to motivate.
Well, so far so good.
I'm sticking to the program. It's kicking my butt, but I'm still doing it. And I'm doing all the exercises each day.
If that's true, then those results will show up on the scale, and for what it's worth, that shirt does look looser on him than it did earlier in the episode.
At my last weigh-in, I was 694 pounds, and Dr. Now said I had to lose 90 pounds in 2 months. And if I did that, I'd be down to at least 604 today.
Wow, it looks like Wess was telling the truth. 604 was the goal, so getting down to 606 is fantastic.
So it looked like you figured out what to do to lose some weight, right?
Yes, sir. You kicked my butt last time I was here. I didn't want to do that again.
So we'll go ahead and approve you for surgery.
And hey, Wess qualified for surgery. Wess deserves to feel proud for himself. Losing that much weight isn't easy, especially after the slow start.